Hello friends, welcome back to my channel NS English Academy. This is Sonia and in this video I am going to discuss most important fact, all the information regarding UGC NET upcoming exam as well as repeated questions and PYQs and frequently asked questions I am going to discuss in this video, right? As you all know that St. Coleridge yani Samuel Taylor Coleridge was a great poet of his time, but he is a great critic too, right? And his timing period 1772 to 1834, right? We studied him the romantic age of English literature and considered him major poet as well as the critic too. Okay, let's discuss first question, okay, which is very important for exam point of view. Only that film which fluttered on the great still flutter there the soul unquiet thing. The above lines are quoted from. Here is lines and the question from this, the answer is Frost at Midnight. This is the work from where the line extracted. Okay, let's move next question of the video. A half sentence in 𝗏𝗧 his pilgrimage triggered off Kubla Khan, whose work was 𝗏𝗧 hit pilgrimage. Okay, so this is the Kubla Khan, which poem written by St. Coleridge in the year 1816, right? And here they ask about the triggered. कौन से pilgrimage का 𝗏𝗧 वो पढ़ रहे थे जिसने triggered किया था कुबला खान में, right? So the answer to this question, Samuel 𝗏𝗧, the London Parsons. Okay, let's move next question. Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner is a poem in, right? The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, this is the poem written by St. Coleridge, and lyrical ballads which written in the collaboration with William Wordsworth and Coleridge, and the collection of poems in which Rime of the Ancient Mariner was first poem. Okay, in lyrical ballads this is the first poem of St. Coleridge, and this poem written in the 7 parts. There are 7 parts in this poem. Okay, let's move on next question. The poetry of Wordsworth and Coleridge was notably influenced by, as you guys know that Wordsworth and Coleridge belong to first generation poet of romantic age, as well as they both are belong to Cambridge. So here the question is, was notable influenced by, कौन थे इनकी पोएट्री जिनसे इन्फ्लुएंस थी वर्ड्सवर्थ एंड कॉलरिज की? सो द आंसर इज द फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन. As we know that they are just writing in the time of the French Revolution, right? Happening. So this is the influences, the work of Wordsworth as well as the Coleridge, right? The French Revolution. Okay, let's move next question. The Rime of Ancient Mariner is about. So the answer to this question, the guilt and expiations of the ancient mariner. This is the answer to this question, which published, I think, written by St. Coleridge, the Rime of Ancient Mariner, right? Next we have, what of the following was not a contemporary of Wordsworth and Coleridge? Not, they asking about not. Robert Southey we studied, and also the contemporary of Wordsworth and Coleridge. Also Robert Southey considered first generation poet. Okay, next we have Sir Walter Scott, also we studied him. William Hazlitt, also we studied in romantic age, but A.C. Swinburne, he is not associated with them, right? And not contemporary of Coleridge and Wordsworth. Okay, so the right answer is A.C. Swinburne. Next we have Kubla Khan takes an epigraph from. Kubla Khan, which is published in the year 1816, written by St. Coleridge, takes an epigraph from. So the answer is Samuel 𝗏𝗧 his pilgrimage. This is the epigraph taken from Kubla Khan. Okay, next question we have, which of the following is not a quest narrative? Quest narrative, not a quest narrative, right? So the answer is Coleridge's 𝗏𝗧 is not a quest narrative. Okay, let's move next question. Friends, actually I'm just sharing all the topic wise question with you in my video. So these are the question I'm going to discuss in this video, all from the Coleridge's asked in UGC NET previous years. Okay, so make a note of it, that kinds of question you guys can see in the examinations. Okay, let's move on next question. Who among the following romantic poets ended his life lauded and respected as the sage of Highgate? So the answer to this question, of course, St. Coleridge. Okay, let's move next question. Which romantic poet defined a slave as a person perverted into a thing? So the answer is Coleridge, right? Next, match the column. Here is terms theorist, and next we have, see guys, there are some terms and the theorist also written here. Okay, so Matthew Arnold associated with Hellenism and Hebraism. Okay, so this is the concept by Matthew Arnold. Next we have Friedrich Nietzsche, who associated with Apollonian and Dionysian, right? Most important theorist and terms I'm going to discuss, so please make a note of it. G.H. Hopkins associated with incept and instress. Okay, next we have St. Coleridge associated with fancy and imagination. This is the concept he discussed in Biographia Literaria, right? Next question we have, from among the following, identify Coleridge's companion in a fanciful scheme to establish a utopian community of free love on the banks of the Susquehanna River, right? So this is the question. First, I'm going to discuss brief about behind the story of this question, right? You should know about that Coleridge met Robert Southey in Bristol, right, in 1794, right? And both proposed a utopian community. इन दोनों ने ही propose किया था utopian community को that would fulfill the idealistic goals of the revolutionaries without degenerating into the violence of the terror, right? A community to be called, इसी community को इन्होंने बोला था 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗧, right? 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗧, and to be established in the new world, right, named Pennsylvania. Okay, so this is the thing behind this. So here the question, from among the following identify Coleridge's companion. तो कौन था वो companion? अभी मैंने आप लोगों को बताया कि Robert Southey, to whom he met 1794 in Bristol, right? So the answer to this question, Robert Southey. इन दोनों ने मिलकर ही इस community, utopian community को बनाया. Next question we have, Kubla Khan is thought to have been written in 1797, but it was not published until 1816. Who persuaded Coleridge to publish it? So the answer to this question, Byron. Let's discuss brief about Kubla Khan, right? What is Kubla Khan? So guys, Coleridge's poem Kubla Khan was published in the year 1816. And it is subtitled as A Vision in a Dream. This is the subtitle of the poem Kubla Khan, A Vision in a Dream. A fragment, right? According to Coleridge, preface to Kubla Khan, he was living in ill health during the summer. तो जब ये वर्क लिखा जा रहा था तो उस समय जो कॉलरिज थे, इनका जो हेल्थ था वो ख़राब चल रहा था एंड समर का टाइम था of 1797, I'm just talking about, in a lonely farmhouse, right, between Porlock and Linton, right? This is the situation where is situated, right, this place, okay, I'm talking about. So what exactly happening there? So having so he was fell asleep, right, and immediately क्या होता है, upon reading a 17th century travel book by Samuel Purchas Pilgrims. ये सैम्यूल पर्चास की बुक है, पर्चास पिलग्रिमेज, जो वो रीड कर रहा था. एंड द वर्क डिस्क्राइब्ड, इसमें एक जांडू था, XANADU, जांडू था, द समर प्लेस ऑफ द मंगोल रूलर. मंगोल जो मुगल रूलर थे तो उसी का क्या था वो, मतलब वहाँ का रूलर था जांडू, जिसकी मैं बात कर रही हूँ. एंड एम्पायर ऑफ द चाइना, कुबला खान, राइट, टू होम आई टॉकिंग अबाउट. कुबला खान द नेम ऑफ द पोएम. सो द एम्पायर ऑफ चाइना while sleeping for 3 hours, 3 घंटे तक सोया. Coleridge composed 200 to 300 lines, if that indeed can be called composition. Okay, So upon walking, he set about writing lines of poetry that came to him from the dream. तो जो उसने ड्रीम में लाइंस देखी, जो भी उसने देखा, तो वो सब उसने अपनी लाइन में कंपोज कर दिया until he was interrupted by a person. तो तभी जब तक उसको मतलब किसी इंसान के द्वारा उसको इंटरप्ट नहीं किया गया था. And from prologue returning to the poem, Coleridge could recall only some of 8 or 10 scattered line and images. तो इतनी ही मतलब 8 और 10 लाइन्स थी जो कि स्कैटर्ड हो चुकी थी और इमेजेस थी जो उसके माइंड में थी, वो लिख पाया, राइट. तो कॉलरिज पोएम डिस्क्राइब ज़ांडू द प्लेस ऑफ कुबला खान. एक कुबला खान जो चाइनीज़ मैंने आपको एम्पायर बताया था, उसका एक जगह थी ज़ांडू, जहाँ पे वो प्लेस, जहाँ उसका यू गाइस कैन से उसका पैलेस था. सो मुगल एम्पायर जो था, द पोएम इज स्पीकर स्टार्ट बाय डिस्क्राइबिंग द सेटिंग ऑफ द एम्पायर्स प्लेस. तो वहाँ पे वो बताता है, जो स्टार्टिंग पोएम की होती है, तो उसमें वो पैलेस के बारे में बता रहा है, एम्पायर का जो पैलेस है उसके बारे में डिस्क्राइब कर रहा है, विच ही कॉल जिसको इसने बताया प्लेजर डोम, राइट. दिस इज द नेम ही कॉल्ड अबाउट दैट पैलेस, प्लेजर डोम. In contrast to the structured dome and its garden, the landscape surrounding उसके landscape जा रहा है, and Kubla's domain is wild and untamed, covered by ancient forest and cut by majestic river, जो कि कट हो रहा है किससे, majestic river से. So here is the description about the palace which he described in the starting of the Kubla Khan poem, in which he talk about the Zandu, the palace where the Chinese emperor, I'm talking about the name of him, Kubla Khan, he just talking about. So this is the poem written by Coleridge, Kubla Khan, published in the year 1816. So I described very little about this. Here are some work, we have to match them with their author, right. Important work hai, repeated works hai, please make a note of it. So first we have Exertion, Christabel, Milton and Queen Mab. Here are some author name: 𝗂𝗃 Coleridge, P.B. Shelley, William Wordsworth and William Blackie. Let's choose and match them according to their author. Okay, so answer to this question we have B. So the first is associated with option C. So first is associated with option C, यानी कि William Wordsworth, the work written by Exertion, right. Exertion written by William Wordsworth. Next we have second, match with option A, right. Here is 𝗂𝗃 Coleridge. Okay, so Christabel is written by 𝗂𝗃 Coleridge. Next we have number third, Milton. Milton is associated with William Blackie, right. William Blackie wrote the work named Milton. Okay, next we have Queen Mab, which was written by, to whom, P.B. Shelley, right. So this is the matching I have done for you. Always remember, this is important text, repeated many times, so please make a note of it. Okay, let's move on next question of today's video. All the question I'm describing, most important and topic wise question, I selected for you. Let's move on next question. 𝗂𝗃 Coleridge, Dejection and Ode. This is the subtitle. Dejection and Ode opens with an epigraph, which is a reference to a ballad. Identify the ballad. Okay, so reference पूछा है कौन सा ballad था. So answer to this question, Ballad of Sir Patrick Spens. Okay, this is the answer to this question. Okay, let's move on next question. In which of the following work is the character Ariel an exclusion? Right. So the answer, the rhyme of the ancient mariner. Character name Ariel, right. Next we have, as mentioned in my first acquaintance with poets, which poet does William Hazlitt describe as the only person I ever knew who answered the idea of a man of genius? So the answer to this question, Coleridge. William Hazlitt, to whom we studied in also Romantic Age, and he also considered the contemporary of Coleridge and Wordsworth. Okay. So guys, now I'm gonna discuss brief about the Biographia Literaria, which was written by 𝗂𝗃 Coleridge. So in his Biographia Literaria, Coleridge makes a distinction between fancy and imagination. This is the famous question and famous concept also, which examiner always, or you guys can say often ask in examinations. Okay, so in which he talks about Coleridge, fancy or imagination, right. So what is fancy for Coleridge? Fancy for Coleridge is a lower faculty, right. He considered fancy lower lower faculty that is employed for tasks that are passive or mechanical, you guys can say. On the other hand, if I talk about the imagination, so this is considered by Coleridge, hidden ideas, right, and meaning from such data and is a creative power. तो imagination को Coleridge ने creative power कहा है. On the other hand, fancy को इन्होंने lower faculty बोला है, as well as mechanical बोला है और passive बोला है, right. And he then further divides imagination into two kinds. अब imagination को भी further इन्होंने Coleridge ने two kinds में divide किया है, primary imagination and the secondary imagination. So what is primary imagination according to Coleridge? Right, so according to Coleridge, the primary imagination is defined as the living power, right, living power, or you guys can say prime agent of all human perceptions. So prime agent consider किया जाता है human perception का first, और you guys can say first imaginary को. ठीक है. Next I am just talking about secondary imagination is considered according to Coleridge an echo of the former, right. एक echo बताया है former का, which can dissolve, diffuse, dissipates, which is very important. Three words I am telling about secondary imagination, that can dissolve, diffuse and dissipates in order to recreate. होने के कारण इसको dissolve भी किया जा सकता है, diffuse भी किया जा सकता है and dissipate भी किया जा सकता है. These three words many times asked in literature exam, so please make a note of it. This is from the secondary imagination by Coleridge, okay. And the secondary imagination represented a superior faculty which could only be associated with artistic genius. कॉलरिज कहते हैं कि जो सेकेंडरी इमेजिनेशन है उसे सिर्फ वही लोग कर सकते हैं, दोज हैव गुड क्वालिटी एंड हैव आर्टिस्टिक जीनियस, नॉट अ कॉमन मैन. बिकॉज अकॉर्डिंग टू कॉलरिज देयर आर डिफरेंस बिटवीन द कॉमन मैन एंड द आर्टिस्ट. एंड कभी भी जो कॉलेज थे वो इन दोनों को अमालगमेंट नहीं करते थे अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम, कि कॉमन मैन अलग होता है एंड दी जो आर्टिस्ट होता है, द पोएट होता है, ही इज़ द जीनियस, राइट, अकॉर्डिंग टू कॉलरिज. So what he said further in about primary imagination, that primary imagination according to Coleridge is merely the power of receiving impression from the external world through the sense. तो ये बोलते हैं कि जो प्राइमरी इमेजिनेशन होती है, जो हम बाहर से कुछ भी हम लोग देखते हैं एंड वट एवर वी सी हम इमेजिन कर लेते हैं एंड उसके बाद हम उसको क्रिएट कर देते हैं, राइट. नॉट हम एक्चुअली क्रिएट नहीं करते, कुछ भी न्यू नहीं बनाते, मतलब कि कुछ भी नया हमने देखा एंड वी इमेजिन, अपने सेंसेस में आया एंड इट इज़ पोसेस्ड बाय एवरीवन. और इनका मानना है कि ये तो एक कॉमन सी चीज़ है, कोई भी इंसान प्राइमरी इमेजिनेशन में एक मतलब रिसीव करता है. हम भी लोग हैं, कुछ भी हम इंप्रेशंस को, कुछ भी हम एक्सटर्नल वर्ल्ड से लेते हैं थ्रू एंड अपने सेंस में एंड उसको हम यूज़ कर देते हैं. बट अकॉर्डिंग टू कॉलरिज द सेकेंडरी इमेजिनेशन वर्क्स upon what is perceived by the primary imagination. Its raw material is the sensation and impressions supplied to it by the primary imagination. Coleridge कहते हैं जो secondary imagination है वो एक तरीके से रो मटेरियल होता है, इन विच जो पोएट होता है वो क्रिएशन करता है, काफ़ी सारी चीज़ों को मॉडिफाइड करता है, उसके बाद एक न्यू क्रिएशन बनाता है, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड सेकेंडरी इमेजिनेशन. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू कॉलरिज सेकेंड इमेजिनेशन इज़ द इमेजिनेशन फॉर द आर्टिस्ट और जीनियस का वर्क है, नॉट कॉमन मैन. ओके, दिस इज द concept given by Coleridge about imagination and fancy imagination, which is further divided into two parts, first primary imagination and the secondary imagination. So this is the concept will help you in your examination. So I hope whatever I explain you understand. I try to explain you. Till then, bye bye. Have a great day, guys. Please do subscribe my channel, and thanks a lot to my last subscriber who enhanced my subscribers. So please do subscribe my channel, share with your friends, and like my videos. Till then, bye bye. I will upload next video soon of further important writer, right, which will be relevant for upcoming UGC NET English exam.